Okay, Mayela, tell us a little bit about yourself. Give us some background.
I have worked at City Hall for the past 4.5 years. I've had a front row seat to what happens at City Hall. So I know the day-to-day operations. I have seen the budget book and I already know where I'm going to make some cuts. So that is...
What do you think are the most important issues facing the district?
The number one issue to me first is the taxes. I, as a single parent, I'm on a tight budget, so I don't want to see my taxes raised. That would be one of my first priorities. The second is the traffic on the Joe Battle and Montwood. We have the worst, deadliest intersection in that area. Also, there's something else that has come up, and that is the graffiti that we have experienced at Los Paseos. That is something that I don't want District 5 to be known for. I want District 5 to be known for being proactive in the community and taking care of the youth and the elderly. I don't want to be known as having the deadliest intersection in the city.
You talked about your experience at City Hall. Can you kind of give us some more information about what your daily duties there or the city? I mean, characterize that a little bit, or define a little bit further if you would.
Okay, my job was to take care of the constituents. Every call that came into City Hall was a call of need. Either somebody had issues with one of our departments, or they wanted to know how to get a street light, or how to get some speed humps. And that was what I had to take care of. I had to take care of going to meetings for the representative. I was his assistant, so I had to go to meetings when he wasn't able to. Then I had to come back and report to what happened at these meetings.
I think specifically what I wanted to know was the time when you had to, when there wasn't anybody else, right?
Okay, I was in District 3. The representative that I was working for at the time decided to step down and run for the county. I was left behind by the city manager and the mayor to take over the district. I was handling everything except for voting. I wasn't able to sit on the council and vote. But I took care of everything else. I had the issue with the three-legged monkey. That was the first thing that was thrown on my plate. And I did deal with it. I got the community and all the stakeholders together. And we took care of first the parking issue. So I was able to get no parking signs for the community. That was the first issue that they had. So we worked together with them, and we were able to come to an agreement for some time that that they wouldn't park on their property, and that the owner of the bar would take care of cleaning up the area, which we did. I also held the regular community meetings that the representative had. I met with city staff on issues that were going on in the district, and I never had to go to the city manager or the mayor to help me, because city staff was always willing to work with me.
Let's talk about some of the more controversial issues that have been before City Hall over the last year, or City Council over the last year. We'll start with the resolution condemning SB 1070 in the state of Arizona. Had you been on City Council at that time, how would you have voted on that issue?
I would have definitely voted against it. I am not for our local police taking care of immigration issues. That is the job of our federal government. So we already have, we're understaffed by 300 or so police officers, so definitely that would not be something that I would want to put on the police officers' shoulders.
And let's talk about the accessibility for ADA compliant housing. That was an issue that was before City Council. How would you have voted then?
I would have also voted to have more ADA compliant apartments. We did see at City Council all the issues and all the constituents that need these type of apartments, and they're not there. So I would have definitely voted to have more apartments.
Okay, and then obviously probably the most controversial issue that's been before City Council over the last year, and that's the domestic partner benefits issue. Would you have supported keeping domestic partner benefits for unmarried couples, or would you have decided to take away those benefits?
The people have voted, and I would always listen to the voters. It is costing the city of El Paso $75,000 to put this back on the ballot, and that is something that I would have not voted for. I would have left it as it was. I would have just amended for our retirees, the retired police and fire to get their benefits, but I would have left it at the will of the voters.
The budget's going to be a big issue. What are some of the cuts you would be looking at? You had talked about cuts previously.
Okay, some of the issues that I have looked at, because I have looked at the budget book for last year, and I would not make cuts that affect the quality of life or that would raise taxes. Like I said, I'm a single mom on a budget, so I know about budgets. One of the things that I've seen is if we cut down on the times we pick up our blue bin, our recycle bin, instead of picking it up once a week like we do our gray bin, I would have it so we can pick it up twice a month, which would save the city $500,000. So those are the type of cuts that I would be making.
I'd also like to know, one of the things that has been a pretty consistent critique of the incumbent, of the city representative that's there now, who's chosen not to run, Representative Quintana. Pretty much every candidate has laid the critique that she hasn't really been a voice and she hasn't been responsive to the community. What would you do different?
What I would do different is be accessible, of course. I would be a full-time city representative. I would have community meetings because I think community meetings are very important to keep the constituents up to date on what's happening in the city and regarding the district. Another thing that I would work on is getting more neighborhood associations started. We only have one association and we have one of the biggest districts. That is definitely an issue because we need to have a louder voice at City Hall, and the way to do that is to have more neighborhood associations in the district.
How do you feel about certificates of obligation?
Certificates of obligation should be done by the voters. It should be, it's their taxes. I think it should be taken to a vote and let them decide on that.
Okay, and final question. If you're standing in front of an undecided voter in District 5, what do you tell them to convince them to vote for you?
I would let them know that I have the experience. If the election was tomorrow and I was to get elected, I don't need to be trained on what to do or what departments to go to get things done. I would just have to roll up my sleeves and get to work. So I would definitely, I'm ready to get to work.